Bonjour, today let's have a look at the verb avoir in the future tense. Let's go into it right away. Avoir in the future tense sounds like this. J'aurai. Tu auras. Il aura. Elle aura. On aura. Nous aurons. Vous aurez. Ils auront. And elles auront. Okay, so if we have a look at it again and translate it, it's quite easy, okay? Where you are in English using the modal will, I will have, we don't do it this way in French. And please have a look at my other videos on future tense, and so you can not only conjugate the verb avoir, which is known as an auxiliary verb, but other verbs from different groups, okay? And you will see that it all ends with a re and a ra and a ron sound. So let's have a look at it one more time. J'aurai, I will have. Tu auras, you will have. Il aura, he will have. Elle aura, she will have. On aura, one will have or we will have. Nous aurons, we will have. Vous aurez, you will have. Ils auront, they will have. And elles auront, they will have when using a group of feminine things or girls or and so on. Okay? So, I would like you to learn this verb by heart. And you know why? Because we use it a lot. And it will become very useful when you learn the future perfect. But I don't want to go into this detail yet. But if you know that, the future perfect, as in I will have eaten, for example, becomes much easier. Okay? So if I give an example, a simple example of the verb avoir in the future tense with 3 sentences, I can say, for example, Tom aura 2 petits chats la semaine prochaine. Now, what do you think that means? We know that the chat is a cat and petit is small. Tom will have 2 little cats next week, okay? And we don't say next week in French, we say week, next, okay? So, Tom aura 2 petits chats la semaine prochaine. Lucky him. Meow. Now, Sam et Tom auront un certificat de natation après la compétition. Sam et Tom auront. Now you're going to ask me, why is it that I'm using auront, O-N-T? Well, you've got to consider what is Sam et Tom. What subject pronoun is Sam and Tom? If you had to replace Sam et Tom by a subject pronoun, would it be je? Would it be tu? Would it be il with an S? In that case, it's il, it's they. They will have. And we know that il, I-L-S, has auront after that with a O-N-T. So, Sam et Tom auront un certificat. They will have a certificate de natation, a swimming certificate, après, which means after the competition, la compétition. Okay? So I know it sounds a little bit tricky, more tricky and more advanced, but it's not really if you learn to have by heart in the future tense. And the last example is a tricky one. J'aurai 15 ans le 12 mai. J'aurai 15 ans le 12 mai. Now, I'm giving you a date, and it means I will be 15 on the 12th of May. So, the complexity here is the fact that I'm using avoir. I will be 15 on the 12th of May. In French is I will have 15 years on the 12th of May. Okay, so you've got to know that we don't say I am 10 or I am 30 or I am 40. We say I have 10 years. I have 12 years, 20 years, 40 years. Okay, so knowing that, we need to consider avoir in the future tense since we are doing the future tense. So, j'aurai 15 ans le 12 mai. I will be 15 on the 12th of May. Okay, I've chosen this example because it's slightly more tricky. So now I'd like to introduce you to a word. The word of this week or this lesson is... Oh, before I do that, why don't you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Because I want you to be part of my little community. Well, it's quite a big one now. It's growing. And leave a comment. And also, why don't you have a look at my learnfrenchwithalexa.com website where I offer you hundreds of hours of lessons where you can take your French to the next level. And also, I have just created my Patreon page. And if you don't know what that is, please have a look because I'm asking you for your support on patreon.com/French. I would love to see you on there. Anyway, the word of the day is le coquelicot. Le coquelicot. Have a look at that. Weird. Coquelicot means the poppy, as in the flower. Le coquelicot. But obviously in French we say coquelicot. That's it for me. Au revoir. À bientôt. Bisous bisous.